Hi guys, welcome to the Benin City National Museum, situated in the city center on Kings Square. This is an institution rich in history and cultural significance. It also has quite a number of artifacts related to the Benin Empire, such as terracotta, bronze figures, cast iron pieces, including ancient art related to the early times. So guys, let me take you in so you can see things for yourself. But don't forget to click on the red subscribe button in case you've not subscribed to my channel, and turn on your post notification bell so you get notified when I upload a new video. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, drop a comment below, let me know what you think about this video.
This is bronze head, and it's memorial head that has to do with the past Obas that have reigned sometimes ago. And on the top of it, like this, there is a hole. This hole you are seeing, they normally put elephant tusk at inside that particular place. I will show you some of the elephant tusks there. So that those are the things they used to hang around that place, and that one can rest on the wall to an extent. It's a memorial head about their past uh, Obas. But this one you can only find bronze in the palace. Other people cannot use it in their shrine, And the same thing with this one you are saying, this is terracotta. When we use the word terracotta, we are talking about clay being fire, using fire, and it now turned to terracotta. We call it terracotta. And the chiefs and any other person can make use of this one in their shrine, but only the Oba that can make use of bronze. Now, looking at this particular one, you see part of the Benin city wall. You look at the city wall, how it used to be part of it. You see, this is the moat itself. This is the city wall. This is the top side of it. The sand they dug from the ground, they heap it up. Then the other one now thought to be city city wall, while the downside is the moat. And then this how they used to have it in those days. And that one is served as a form of protection in the Benin Kingdom. And you will see as well this one showing the bronze plaque of Oba Akenzo, Oba Akenboy. So this shows to the whole world that there was an Oba in Benin here that has that has dreaded hair. We call it Dada in Yoruba land, dreaded hair. And anybody that have this kind of hair, the people at that time in particular, they believe that he must be a very strong and diabolical person, not an ordinary man. You see this one talking about his bronze ram. In the past, we normally have two of these here. But the other one have gone on exhibition. And this one used to stand in the front of the palace, the veranda of the palace. And when any stranger is coming, this particular one will, what do you call it? This particular one, if this one welcomes the person, comes and welcome the person, I mean, get up from the ground and enter inside the palace, then it shows that the person coming to the palace has evil intention. But if this ram stands wherever it is at the time in which the person is coming in, it shows that the person is not harmful. So people inside knows they will just welcome the person in that form. Of course, this is what we call the Amala people. Amada people, the Amadarada Amada people. These are the people working with the in the palace, particularly attendants to the wives of the Obas, and because that they've turned them to be eunuchs, which they cannot be able to do anything or disturb there. And in the case of this, we are looking at the carved wooden bow and antelope box. This one, the two that you are looking at, they serve the same purpose. They use it to present cola to visitors when it comes. But this one, you are looking at it, goes beyond using it to present cola to the visitors. This one you are seeing on top, from the history we had, on top of it like this, if they present cola, if you somebody is newly married, a lady is newly married to her husband, her in-law, that means the husband side, will present a cola to the family of their wife. And if they are presenting, they will use this bowl to present the kola. If that person they give to the person in this form, it means they didn't make the woman in full, meaning that they didn't marry her as a virgin. But if the kola nut is on top of this hole, it shows that they got her, they married her a virgin in that family. And it means that she is full and the family too will be happy to receive this kola from them. Well, and many of these ones you are looking at it, you just to show that the chiefs, the Oba, the time they are going to war, you see the chiefs and the Oba. So when you are looking at this one, the hierarchy in the presentation of the Obas, or the chiefs rather. And in the case of this one, they call this one Ogiubu, Ogiubu, symbol of death. When you see this particular one, it shows that they have sentenced the person to death. If that person happen to be a criminal and they have been trying him, they have not said anything. But by the day they will bring this one out, and it shows that they have sentenced him and he's going to die. And what did they do? They only demonstrate it in this form by saying the execution sword, this the execution sword in which they use in cutting the head, removing the head of the offender. And you will see the demonstration of it here. This particular one, looking at the man, this man carrying sword, carrying the head of the victim, and looking at the body of the victim on the ground, and looking at this the other one here performing some rituals to make sure that this man will not miss it, because if he miss it once, meaning that himself his head will roll. So it's something that he must be they must practice and also allow some spiritual power to back it up for him not to miss it by cutting the head at once. Of course, I've told you that Oba can we use the one making use of bronze. This is the one Oba can use in presenting kola to his guests. While wooden one, as I've told you before, they are meant for chiefs and others that can afford that particular one. Well, all this one is horn blower, and just to tell us that horn blower trying to tell us that in case of any community gathering or any announcement that they want to make in a community, this is how they will put it and gather people. If Oba want to see them, want to send the message across, we have a way of sending it across to people. And still also we have here uh, Queen Mother's head. Of course, they call her Idia and Idiage. So it happened to be the mother of Oba Esige. Oba Esige was the Oba of Benin between 15 between 1504 between 1504 and 1555. So he was the Oba at that particular period. And it also happened to be one of the time in which the Idas always come to fight the Benin. And during the war, at that time, they were Oba Esigi seized his start with his family. And Oba Esigi was the king at this time around. But when they were to fight the Idas, the Oba Esigi was already set to go and fight the Idas. And on his way about to leave the palace, he remembered because they normally have this bird, they call it oro, in the palace at that time. He now remembered that he had not consulted this bird whether he should go to that war or not to go. And he was already set. I now remember I consulted the bird. The bird now told him he should not move. He should not go to that war. He said, how would I not go? I'm set, I'm ready. He said, well, if you go, I'm not giving you assurance that you will come back again. And the man said he was ready. Well, anything that is going to happen, let it be. And he prepared himself the more and he went for that particular war. And this is the Oba Isige that we are talking in question. The Oba Isige. He went, but after much tough war, yeah, really the war was highly tough for him. After much tough war, Oba Isige won. They defeated the Benin. The Benin kingdom defeated Ida. And but they couldn't even defeat Ida from it required the mother. The mother was involved after she has waited for some months, for some days. He couldn't see the son back. She got set by preparing her own soldiers. She had her own soldiers to go to the war to join his son in fighting that battle. And with the help of the mother, Oba Isigi, the Idiage Obas was able to conquer the Ida. And as a result of that, when he came back, the Obas now gave order that this bird must have been deceiving in Benin before today. And as a result of that, what they will do is to make sure that they kill this bird. And if they kill this bird, that will be the end of it all. Then, of course, when they kill the bird, they now came and decided to name Mama the Queen Mother as the Iyoba. So now she has a title in the palace. They now went to build the palace for her, and she stayed there. And since that time, they have been having that particular palace for the Yoruba. Well, this one is just telling us those people who have ruled how Benin was during Ogiso period before they started making use of the Oba. And at the time in which they started introducing Oba, right from the time of Oramiyan. And looking at it here, when you have looked at everything downward, you will see the list of Obas, right from the time of Oramiyan. You will see the youth ballot from 12th century down to the present Oba, with the present Oba have not been added here, and it's even added here, Oba from 2016. So when you count this number of these people here down to this one, the present Oba now, Oba Eware II, happened to be the 40th king in Benin. Well, this one is only demonstrating the the white that one is only showing us how the Portuguese and white people photograph of a messenger of peace with with uh, the cross on his head. So good neighborhoodness is vital ingredient of development, and the Oba of Benin extend his goodwill to peaceful and friendly kingdom. What does that one stand for is that because they have been interacting with the whites, so even when you see Benin man, we start seeing them dressing the way they will go, using their cross along with their own bead, just to say that we welcome them, we are for peace. And this one is showing how they normally fight war. Fight war. I mean, Benin, when the Portuguese came, Portuguese soldiers, they introduced gun and every other thing. So, artists, they always look at the way you demonstrate things. So they were trying to capture how they used to see the Portuguese soldiers demonstrating when because the Portuguese will also join the Benin, the Oba in fighting leaders because the war happened not to be once, not twice. And with the help of the Portuguese, the Benin soldiers and the Queen India soldiers, they were able to conquer the leader. And you see the oldest church here. This one has been on since 1481. It was Oba then that introduced this particular one by the Portuguese church who introduced it, but they have turned it to native, but it's still the native church, but the traditional way of worshiping. So the building is an old building and it's still in existence today. When in the case of this one, you are seeing this and that you are seeing. I've told you before the war between the Ida and the Benin, and when the Benin were able to capture the Idas, they collected the stool of the Oba of the king of Ida, and because of the white people who joined them in fighting, what they could donate to the Portuguese was that stool, gave it to them. And if you go to Portugal today, I was told that you have that stool that was donated to them at that particular time. Now the Portuguese now said they looked at that stool and they now decided to do it the way they could, and they did it and sent this one down to Nigeria. But when the Benin now saw it and now look at something like this, they too can also do it, and they now introduce it in their own what do you call it, in their own culture, and now try to put the ebe, ada, and many other things that symbolize their own culture in that particular one. You see the day gone, you see gone that we call pistol today, and you see where they put where they put the gunpowder, they put them inside this one. Also the arrow that our forefathers were using before the Oyibo came to introduce this particular one. Well, in the case of this one is only telling us that this altar of the hand, we so much believe in this our finger, the top, how powerful it used to be, and based on that particular one, we used to we believe in it and they used to serve it. They have a particular period where they will gather and they sacrifice this their finger. If this not because of this finger, they wouldn't have been able to make much impact. And in the case of this one, plague of a ritual sacrifice of a cow. Of course, they want to kill cow in those days for ritual sacrifice. The way it ought to be done, that's the way they are holding it. The legs will not touch ground. You see hefty people, how all of them will share their own, carry it, hold it, while somebody will just cut the head. And this is how they do it for sacrifice. The body will not touch ground. Well, looking at this one, we don't normally open it per se. These are these, we call it ancestral, we can call it shrine or ancestral shrine or anyhow we call it. But in the case of this one, you see this elephant tusk we are seeing here. That's the one that you see it on the ground. That's how they display. Do you see that one on the ground? So you see how they display now. They will put the elephant tusk on the top of the overhead, then it will rely on the wall like this one. So this is how they normally display their own in the palace. And when you count this number of wooden objects here, it's showing the number of kings that have ruled in Benin here. That's what we are seeing all over there. Well, this one is bronze, ram, pendant, and baboon hips mask, just to decorate their body and so on and so forth. The time there was a time no rain in Benin, and they have to go to Amopi dancer. They introduced Amopi dancers. Amopi is one of the villages around what the Benin is not inside the town. And then there was no rain for about 3.5 years based on the history we had. And they had to go to that village. This is called a wood tree. And they had to make sacrifice. For rain to take place, they have to tie a rope like this, and then men have to do it like that. They are dangling on it. In the course of doing that, instantly we were told rain that have not fallen in Benin for over 3 years started falling. After this period, the period we are in now, this Oborame period, from 1888 to 1897, Oborame period, happened to be a period that Benin will never forget in their history. And what actually happened in their history, Oba Warame Nogba Isi was the king, was the Oba, but the British people, they wanted to come and pay him a visit. And it happened to be around the time of Igwe festival, which they told them, don't come. Now, and they were already around Benin, one of the villages very close to the sea, to the riverside. Don't come now. If you have told us, we wouldn't have allowed us to come. They said they must come. And truly speaking, they were coming. Oba now said, well, if they said they are already coming, leave them. And this is Oba Oburame himself. Leave them and let them come. But the soldiers said they will not never allow it. It has never happened before. And people like Asoro and many other warriors now went to attack those white people. And I think about 7 of them were killed. Only about 1 or 2 of them that escaped. And they went to tell their people. They now reinforced and came back in the month of February 1897. It was when they came to massacre Benin, they came to destroy Benin, they came to loot Benin, and that was when they now arrested the Obas, ran away for some days, he came to surface, and there they got him, and they now took him to Calabar. And there he spent 17 years and he died. And they never brought his corpse down to Benin. And at that time, as we are saying, while he was in Port Harcourt and he was in Calabar, over there, he was feeling lonely. He couldn't hear much from Benin. And what was happening in the palace, he didn't know. He had to, on his own, went back to tell people that let me know what is happening in the palace. And those people in the village now went and carved this object and they sent it across to him. So he saw it, he could read it, he understood, but the British people with him didn't know what it stands for. But the minute he saw it, he knew what was happening. And what was happening? Looking at it here, Oba that will stand and chief supposed to be hailing him and what in order. And the Amada people supposed to be around him and what, but we have started seeing the opposite, where the the houseboy, househead, and other people, they are now dancing with the princess. While we are now seeing snakes, a lot of things now happening in the palace. So it's a sign when he saw it, he knew that there was no longer peace in the kingdom, no longer peace in the palace as he used to do it. There was much confusion in that place at that particular time. And to round it up on this session, as I told you that the white people who came at that time, they looted many of the collections they have in the palace, and they burnt it down. You will see the structure. This is the palace at that time, in that 1897. And all this one you are seeing on ground like this, all the design you are seeing that look like movie today now. You are seeing all this artwork, like you are seeing all this one. Those are the collections they removed from the palace before they burnt it. And those are the ones we are crying for today that people should return. And they have started returning them now. That we call it repatriation of them now. They are to repatriate back to the country. They are our property. So they are real that they actually looted the palace some years back. So let me go upstairs. This is down for
Okay.